Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. The Michigan Wolverines land another commitment in the 2024 class from four-star linebacker Jeremiah Beasley, the number 5 player in the state of Michigan, beating out Michigan State for his commitment. And I'm a massive fan of what Michigan is doing with this linebacker group in 2024. And Jeremiah Beasley became a very important target after Aaron Childs decided to commit to Florida. And Michigan doing a really good job solidifying this linebacker group. I'm going to talk a little Jeremiah Beasley. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I think Michigan is doing with this linebacker group in 2024. And we're going to be talking about what this class could look like, some top targets that might be new Michigan commitments. Now, before we get into it again, just want to say thank you to you guys for all the support you guys have shown the channel. We've been talking a lot of recruiting. It's been a very busy last couple of weeks trying to cover as many of these commitments as we can. And you know, I'm rocking with Michigan, right? So if you guys do enjoy the content, you like talking recruiting, you like talking Michigan football, consider subscribing to the channel. Again, can't thank the Michigan fans enough for all the support they've shown the boys. And let's start talking Jeremiah Beasley. And one of the things I want to start with is, yes, Jeremiah Beasley is a massive get. Plays for Belleville. And Bryce Underwood, the number 1 quarterback in the 2025 class, is his teammate. So when that recruitment starts to heat up for Bryce Underwood, maybe Jeremiah Beasley can play a little bit of a role in that. But let's focus on Jeremiah Beasley. One of the things I want to talk about, and we're going to get into this a little bit more, is Michigan is prioritizing faster, maybe a little bit smaller, but emphasis on the faster linebackers in this 2024 class. And I think where college football is going, that's the kind of linebacker you need. Gone are the days, even in the Big Ten, where you're playing in the tackle box consistently. You need to have linebackers that can go sideline to sideline, that can cover running backs in the flat, carry tight ends up the seam. Jeremiah Beasley, Cole Sullivan, Jaden Smith, all of these linebackers that Michigan's taking in the 2024 class are more of this spacier, athletic linebackers that, although might be coming in undersized, they have that speed and athleticism already. And again, we talk about this all the time. There's not a coach I trust more than Ben Herbert to get these guys to the size they need to be successful on the football field. Like Ben Herbert, in terms of getting these guys' bodies where they need to be, he's been the best in the country, in my opinion. And so Michigan kind of saying, we're going to take some smaller guys. We're going to let Ben Herbert get his hands on them in the weight room. In 2 years, they're going to be all-conference type linebackers that still have that athleticism but are playing with that size as well. Let's get into Jeremiah Beasley and what he brings to the football field, though, because there's a lot to like about Jeremiah Beasley. And one of the big things I'll say is just he's a dude that can do a lot of different things. You're going to see him blitz off the edge. You're going to see him drop back in coverage. You're going to see him go sideline to sideline and make tackles. He's a guy that kind of checks all the boxes in terms of what you want in a linebacker. He's also a phenomenal running back, right? 1,200 yards rushing, 108 tackles. This is a dude that is super productive. Here you see him coming right off the edge, being extremely disruptive. And this is a thing that's really important to this Jesse Minter defense. Like, linebackers are going to do a lot of different things. And this is like, I know he's playing running back. He's not going to play unless he's like Khalil Mullings and starts to play running back as a linebacker. But you see the speed, right? And this is a linebacker that's 215 pounds, but he has that kind of burners. I think that's massive. And again, you're going to see him line up in a lot of different spots. Again, coming off the edge, absolutely running through a running back and making a play on the football. There's a lot to like. And again, even the running back reps, you see the athleticism, and he runs the ball like a linebacker, like stiff arm. He wants that contact. You can tell he's a linebacker at heart, but here he's a guy that does a lot of different things, checks off a lot of the boxes you look like. And here's another really big one, like dropping back in coverage. And we always talk about like a linebacker being able to come up and make plays in the box, but being able to drop back in coverage, recognize the screen, have the speed to get over there and make a play on the football, that's really, really big. And then you see, again, just he's very athletic, and that's kind of the calling card of this Michigan linebacker class is we're getting the athletes, the guys that can go sideline to sideline. Again, here's the screen. He recognizes it, has the speed to beat the block at this first level, and then makes a play on the football. Jeremiah Beasley is a really good get. And again, once Aaron Childs went to Florida, I think Jeremiah Beasley suddenly became a massive, massive target for the Michigan Wolverines. And taking a look at this class right now, still a top 3 class, 24 commits. And it sounds like Michigan's just going to hammer this class. I think they're going to capitalize on the momentum and kind of the hype in this 2024 class. And just, I don't know if there's going to be a limit. And Michigan's not a team that normally hammers the transfer portal that much. We got active in it this offseason because I think Jim sees kind of the opening to win a national championship this year. So he's like, hey, we're going to go and get some guys in the portal with some open scholarship spots. But this is going to be a really big class. And Michigan didn't take a big class in 2023, which allows them to really go hard in 2024. I want to talk about the linebacker position, though, and just talk about who we've gotten, right? You have Mason Curtis and Jeremiah Beasley as kind of the big dogs in this class. But one thing you're going to see with every single linebacker we have taken is the length and athleticism. Mason Curtis, 6'4", 200 pounds. He definitely needs to put on some weight, but length, and he's really, really fast. Jeremiah Beasley, very similar, 210 pounds. I think he's the biggest linebacker we have coming in right now. You scroll down the list. And the other linebackers were kind of some interesting takes that I had some conversations with some of the other Michigan fans saying, did we squeeze out Aaron Childs? Maybe. But you got to trust that Jim isn't extending these scholarship offers. Jim and the staff, whether it's Steve Klingsdale, Jesse Minter, Chris Partridge, aren't extending these offers unless they are confident that these guys are going to be able to come in and play some ball. Cole Sullivan, 6'3", 200 pounds. You beat out Notre Dame for his commitment. Same thing you see, right? He's long. He has a really good frame. Maybe it's not quite developed yet. And again, it's really important to keep in mind, these guys aren't even in senior years of high school yet. So they might even get to Michigan around 210 pounds. But when they do get to Michigan, you know Ben Herbert and that strength staff going to get them right, getting up to 220, 230, because they do all have the frames to get up there. Jaden Smith's an interesting one. Excuse me. I've heard safety. I've heard edge rusher. I've heard linebacker. He's kind of a utility chess piece in that defense that I'm interested to see kind of what they do with his body. And then you even go down to Zach Ludwig, who's not even ranked nationally according to 24/7 Sports, was a crazy – I don't even think they had a profile for him when Jim Harbaugh offered him. And that's kind of been Jim's MO, is like Jim is not afraid, and this staff in general is not afraid to go out and get a guy that might be under the radar, offer him, because, I mean, quite frankly, Jim's talent evaluation has been spot on. You think of a guy like Ronnie Bell coming in as a 2-star from Missouri, or Rod Moore coming in as a low 3-star that was overlooked by Ohio State, probably going to be a first-team All-Big Ten safety. Jim's been really good, not only at player development. There's kind of 2 prongs to this, right? Player development, like once you get the player in, can you develop the player, put him in spots where he's going to be successful? But there's another element of just simple talent evaluation. 24/7 Sports and their scouts are they're stacking these players up. Jim Harbaugh and this staff are also having their own scouting list, you might say. Say, hey, Zach Ludwig, 24/7 Sports might be sleeping on him. We're not sleeping on him. We're going to go and get him. I want to talk about what this 2024 class could look like in general. And we can start with Gatlin Bear, who apparently had a phenomenal visit. It sounds like Michigan's the leader in the clubhouse there. And you talk about probably if we polled Michigan fans of who do we want next in this class, or who is the name that you want to see added if you could choose anyone, it probably would be Gatlin Bear. We've been kind of talking about how can we get this offense just a little bit more explosive, right? Attack the third half of the field a little bit more, push the ball downfield vertically. 10-1-5 100-meter dash time, the fastest player in the 2024 class. Gatlin Bear would certainly probably be my answer, and I'm guessing a lot of Michigan football fans answer to who's that last guy you want in this class. The 2 guys that I don't think we should overlook, though, are these 3 guys probably. Jameer Grimsley, Terrion Nichols, and Aaron Scott. Michigan hasn't signed a cornerback in this class, and it sounds like they're in the thick of things for Aaron Scott. I know Bryce West was a tough loss for Michigan fans to Ohio State. I think Aaron Scott all of a sudden becomes a massive, massive priority. You saw Charles Woodson tweeting at him. He is kind of that guy that if you're nervous about this cornerback spot in this 2024 class, Aaron Scott would make you feel a lot better. But don't sleep on these 2 other guys in Jameer Grimsley, who were battling pretty much all the Florida schools for a long cornerback with legit track speed. I'd be very happy if we could get Jameer Grimsley. And if Aaron Scott does decide to go to Ohio State, wouldn't be surprised at all if Michigan really turns up the heat on a guy like Jameer Grimsley and Terrion Nichols, who you're kind of battling out Pitt for, it sounds like. And then going down the list of the guys that could be committing soon, Michael Uni from Texas, he's committing July 30th or June 30th, I believe. He's trending to Michigan. That would round out our offensive line group in the 2024 class. Would be a massive guy, right? 6'7", 300 pounds. Sharon Moore's done a phenomenal job recruiting him and recruiting this offensive line group in general. He was on campus with a lot of the other offensive linemen. I really like our chances with that. I'm kind of a fan of what Michigan's doing. And maybe once you start winning some football games in the fall and a Justin Scott or a Ryan Wingo or Jordan Johnson Rebel are still uncommitted, maybe you can round it out with one more or two more top 50 guys. Oh, one more guy to mention, Elias Rudolph committing early July. Really intriguing edge rusher, kind of a David Ajabo-ish kind of guy from what I've seen. He's really small. Like he's lean right now, right? 6'4", 205 pounds. You got to put some weight on it. But in terms of twitch, in terms of his ability to rush the passer, Elias Rudolph has a lot of juice to him. So I wouldn't be surprised. I think Michigan's trending for him as well. So again, this class is coming along. I think we're going to probably take 30 guys in this class. It sounds like we might get to upper 20s, maybe even 30 in this class. And you talk about the presence thrilling. I mean, we can't wait to watch this team in 2023. But this 2024 class could really set Michigan up in a really good spot for the next 3 to 4 years with all the talent they are getting into the fold. Very excited about this group. Again, appreciate you guys coming on, checking the boys out. If you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. We appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.